Open the registration power. Just let me recap what we did. So far, we have discussed these elements. What are the elements that we discussed? Only the first of all, we discussed descriptive stats. What was the main intention of doing descriptive stats? Why did we do descriptive stats? To describe samples. Okay, so to describe samples, you know then to see the relationship between two variables, what did we do? Correlation, right? We perform correlation. Then we came for the purpose of doing a regression. Why did we do a regression? So you told us, so we did it. So relation increases by we did it. For two reasons, we did. Yes, not that. This is the fact. So let me remind you what we discussed. I told you that there are, when it comes to the overlay regression analysis, that there could be two types of, we discussed two types of regression. One is one part, simple regression. The other one is what? One. This simple regression, what we have? The one independent variable and one dependent. The simple regression, you have one independent and one dependent variable. But In a multiple regression, you have more than one independent. You have plus independent. So that's called a multiple regression, and we ran both. We ran a multiple regression analysis to see what's the impact on computer programmer salary. On computer programmer salary, what's the impact of two variables? What's the example that we did? So let me remind you. Right. So this was the example. You were looking at the impact of what? We were looking at the impact of experience and the marks, that means the knowledge on self. Experience and marks on self. So that was the example that we did. Right. And there we understood, right, what are the significant variables? Out of the experience and marks, what was the significant variable? Look at the regression. What did you find? What did you find? Experience and both marks are significant variables. They come up there, they are significant variables. Right? I'm quickly do this analysis and show you. So what we need to do is you can download the particular file. So you can go to the and you can see that there is file code for there is a both salary. You can download that. Instead, download file and open that instead. Remind you. So once you open that, so that you can open straight up. And you can see it. Here's the session 4. And to view the file. How can you view the contents of this file? We are OWSC. So yes, these are the you can see that the experience levels are given and the marks are given and the salary is given. Right? So we try to predict the salary based on what? Experience and mark. Right? So in fact, we can even draw conceptual diagram for this, right? To see the relationships, and we ran the regression. Shall we do it again? Just remind of the regression. How was I doing? How was the regression? We got statistics, medium, and related. Statistics, medium goods and related, and go. So statistics, medium goods and related, and linear regression. So that's where I need to go, and you can click on it. Linear regression. And what's the dependent variable? What's the dependent variable? Dependent variable. Salary, very good. Salary. What are the two independent variables? The experience. And now you got the regression. Oh. So how many observations are there in this particular database that you use for the regression? How many observations? 20. 20 observations are there. 20 observations are there. And whether the overall model is valid or not. Whether the overall model is valid or not. This is valid. Valid. Is the overall model valid? Okay, this one, okay. But the look of the test. And this overall model is known. This is the overall model is valid or not. So where it is, if this equal to equal so again, now we come to the simple question. Is it this ratio. Exceeded ratio. Exceeded ratio is going to 1. Now, why you? They take relevant over the year. Let's see. So therefore, and if you need additional all of us, we can ask them to bring their test. Right. Okay. So here you can see the F test indicates the probability F test indicates is less than 0.05. That means the overall model is valid. So we have to put that B cancel. Right. Then we look at what? The R square value. The R square value is 0.84. What is that? Look at it's not an exam. Most people most of the questions and each thing other. Whatever. ChatGPT is a very learning tool. You can learn from. Exam is not ChatGPT. Exam you are unable to use ChatGPT. So you can learn very good. You might have to. So what's Oscar? Oscar is no. Very good. What Oscar? They explain it. Oscar is of there are two labels. What are the experience and the mark? The experience and mark would explain how much? Almost 84% of the variation of design. Is it good? Oscar is the whole of variation. Oscar, 84% is considered to be good. Anything over 30%. Even if that should be treated as one. So Oscar, that's a good thing. That's a good way. Right? On the other hand, 16% of the variation of salary is explained by some other variables other than these. Right? So those are the previous discussion that we did. Then we look at the impact. We understood whether these two variables are significant or not. While looking at what? Look at the value. You look at what? The coefficient significance. The function significance. Here you can see the same uh, okay. One other. So, this is the answer. No. Okay. Then we explain it. Then they explain it. The marketing. ಇದರ ಅದು ವೆಲ್ಟಿ ಅದು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ practice करना मतलब मैंने प्रोसेस से लो so if you don't practice you won't be able to right और इधर का इंटरनल में खोले ये नहीं है practice करो और अभी ये तो सब विक्टर में individual victor practice करना so I think that might be required. Whether someone on the temple I can say yes. Someone on the target. So they are practice. It's I don't know how I could emphasize that. So maybe I require to have individual pictures where you given the left computers and you can ask them to meter. And then you can color into very body. Interview says the way. Because of students are not practicing. Some students are giving the answers, some students have no idea what I'm talking about. So I tell my people if I don't, I would easily evade my responsibility to activate your responsibility to study. But on the other hand, my responsibility is make you study as well. Is it? That also is my responsibility. Not I might fail my duty. Therefore, what I'm going to do is I will discuss with the management. Maybe next week or week after next, I'll report to the lab, the part of the computer seminar, and we'll do a mixture. This is better. Batch के वेट में अभी करने पाए नहीं, दो करने पाए नहीं तब मिला भाई क्या So I'll discuss it with Sashinika and see whether I could get the lab next week or week after next. So be ready. I don't know. Whenever the lab will be ready, there will be a winter. Time bomb. So I have placed a time bomb. So therefore, get ready. Not going to be a broker. They can go about one figure it out. I can see some students are studying and some people are not studying. So what I could do is I could have midterm test. Maybe next week or week after next. I'll request Ms. Sashnika to arrange the lab. So we'll try to do that. So you can practice that. At least because of the midterm you start. So I'm worried that finally, my students will start. Right, you are correct. Majority got the answer correct. The experience and the marks both are sticking. Then did we stop from there? No. We went forward and we did a what? We did a prediction of. Did we? What was develop that question? And that's where I'm stuck. We did not discuss the regression assumptions. Because they probably will be discussing the regression assumptions as well. But before we do that, now I'm going to explain to you how we can introduce a qualitative nominal variable into the regression analysis. Please take down. Please take down. Please take down. Introducing. Introducing. Introducing a qualitative nominal variable. Introducing a qualitative nominal variable. Introducing a qualitative nominal variable. A qualitative nominal variable into the regression analysis. Into the regression analysis. Into the regression analysis. A qualitative nominal variable into the regression analysis. So let me first tell what is qualitative nominal variable. Now let's take a variable like and today there are two prominent memberships. Professional qualifications that the computer program would take. What are those? Maybe the BCS membership or the ACS membership. What BCS? British Computer Society or American Computer Society. Likewise, they will take some membership. In our own field, what we have? What are the memberships, official memberships that you should get in the future? BSAA does not. Likewise, you could have membership for nominal. That's the thing for quality nominal basis. Is another example for qualitative. Politically, I'm not done investigating. Qualitative, right? Nominal variable. Gender is another example for qualitative nominal variable. Gender last example, yeah, qualitative nominal variable. Right. These are nominal variables, qualitative variables, nominal. We cannot measure them. These are nominal variables. Now I'm going to teach you how to take these variables into the regression analysis. The name of the qualitative variable as a nominal variable as a over the regression analysis. How are you going to take it? If there are qualitative variables like gender, membership, no membership, like that. So I'm going to teach you that. I'm going to introduce the concept called double variable. You could introduce this as double variable. Please take out qualitative nominal variable. Qualitative nominal variable. Please take out qualitative nominal variables. Qualitative nominal variables. What has gender? What has gender? Qualitative nominal variables such as gender could be introduced. Could be introduced. Could be introduced to a regression analysis. To a regression analysis. Could be introduced to the regression analysis. To a regression analysis as a dummy variable. As a dummy variable. As a dummy variable. Dummy variable. Those are also called indicator variable. They are indicator variable. Dummy variable as a dummy variable. Within brackets also right. Indicator variable. Indicator variable. they could be introduced as a dummy variable or indicator variable. Dummy indicator variable. So here I talk about what's a dummy variable. A dummy variable is where you have to put 0 and 1. Now for the membership, you can say what? 1 having membership. 0 not having membership. Gender 1 male, 0 female. Or 0 male, 1 female. There's no more. But the coding you can put 0, 0 के डाल equal sign के डाल say 0, 0 put equal sign having membership 0 equal sign having membership then 1 equal sign sorry 1 0 say put 0 equal sign not having membership you should not have answer the top man but again better 0 equal sign not having membership. Then 1 equal having membership. Having membership. Right? 0 not having, 1 having membership. एक आने दिया है. I think I got a little bit complicated, confused. 0 having membership. Not having. Not having. Not having membership. 1 equals having membership. The variable is what? Membership. Let's say the variable might be even gender. Gender. If gender, you can say 0 male. 1 female. Membership. Gender. These are qualitative nominal variables. Gender 0 male, 1 female. If you want to the other way around, that's also fine. 1 female and 0 male. 0 female and 1 male. No more. Whatever way so. Just to assign 0 and 1. So what you have to understand is qualitative nominal variables are denoted as 0 and 1. And that's called dummy variables or indicator variables. Right? So I am going to put a note for this as well. But not let's go to that note. Qualitative independent place. So I am going here. What the idea of being I'm going to small notes on this. Qualitative independent variables. These are called dummy or indicator variables like 0 male and 1 female, and like dummy variables 0 and 1. Now, let's factor that in to our analysis. So now let's use that also as an functional variable in our analysis. Yes. Okay. Experience and membership. Can you see that? Membership, yes and no. Whether the computer programmer is having a membership in a professional qualification or not. Right? Yes, no. But can you have yes, no, no? To put that in the regression as if you have to convert just over what? 0 and 1. It has to be 0 and 1. So now what I'm going to do is I will convert that to 0 and 1 and give that to you. So already you in the data set. Say that was theory. That was theory. Now let's go back to the data set that you just saw. That we just saw. Right? The file you have to go again and go to the command line and say browse. You go to browse. And enter. Make a there. Solve the end again there. Or follow a different methodology. I think we have to use a different methodology. Project radar. Make a Every comment is on the matter. Those who project just because in so that they can this what are the so what we are going to do is we are going to have the screen projected, right? And I think that's much efficient. We have a large screen and you can see the one way. We are fair or really.
Okay, students, I think students online, you can hear me, no? Right. Okay, I think now that berry is okay. The technology barrier is being removed. I think now you all can see. That is the oh, that's much better. Can you see? No problem. See, it is. Why we should suffer? Why local communities are there? Sometimes technology, global technology is also is good for a smaller class, not for a large one like you. We learn from experience, is it? Right. Now you can see, right, very clearly, you have the experience levels in years, the marks, the score is there, and the salary is there. Then you have membership, right, as result of it takes. But we cannot use that as a dummy variable. We cannot use that as an indicator variable. We have really got 0 and 1. Can you see? We have made it 0 and 1. You can see there's a variable. Zero, no. I have created a new variable in addition to this text variable. Whether they are texting yes, no. So yes, no is not good enough. So I have created no 0. Yes, no 0, then yes 1. Again no 0, yes 1, yes 1. Likewise, you can see I have coded it as 0 and 1. Can you see that? That's what we call a dummy variable. In a dummy variable, you can have only two positions at a given point, 0 and 1. Gender, again 0 and 1. Whatever male, female, 1, and then other one, 0. So this is called a dummy variable. Right? So if you are going to introduce a qualitative variable, a nominal variable like gender, or having membership or no membership, in that case, we have to convert that into 0 and 1 dummy variable. The rest is as a usual representation. Put this dummy variable into the precision form. and 1. Shall we run the equation? Right. Now things are much easier. Right. You get now do it very fast. But we resolve that immediately. Right. So you go to statistics, linear models and related, and linear regression. And then you have your independent variable. What are the independent variables? The dependent variable is salary. And the independent variables are experience, score, and there's an additional independent variable as well. What's that? Membership 1. Membership 1 is the dummy variable that we created. Membership part in the dummy variable is created. Okay? Membership part is the dummy variable. Membership part is the dummy variable. So we got that variable as well. We got the dummy variable. Coming forward to as our variable. Now let's run the equation. So you have now how many independent variables? 3 independent variables. What are they? The experience, the marks, the score, as well as membership or normal. That's the membership variable. So don't take membership, you take membership one variable, right? And then press OK. Right. Now you got a new regression analysis. In this new regression analysis, you can see again the number of observations in the change is same. What happened to the probability? F-test probability value that signifies the overall model value. It is valid. Right? It is valid. Then what's the R-squared value? It's again 84%. No major difference. Right? Now you can see experience. Is it a significant predictor? Experience, is it a significant predictor? Yes, it is a significant predictor. Then how about score? The marks, is it a significant predictor? Yes, it is. But it's still less than 0.05. How about membership? Is it a significant predictor? Membership would it increase the salary? No. Why not? Because the 60 value is less than 0, it's more than 0.05, it's not less than 0.05. It's how much? 0.268. It is well above 0.05. Therefore, here we can see what qualification, professional membership in this case has no significant impact on the salary of a computer program. Right. So that's what we can see here. So if you are going to give recommendations to the computer programmers to increase their salary, what kind of recommendations you would give? One, do what? Increase the experience. Number two, increase what? The knowledge. That is attribute marks. Number three, can you get a membership? Can you suggest to get a membership? I don't want, you can't. Because it does not have a significant impact. So keep that in mind. This is how you could what? Introduce a dummy variable into the answer. We have not dummy variable, can necessarily include the is the way that you can or you can introduce a dummy variable into the answer. Is it clear? A nominal, right? Quantitative variable. Dummy variable is known as an indicator variable as okay. Is it clear? Gender same. If you have gender of this computer program, just say 0.1 for gender and put that into that. Right. Now, how can you interpret this 2.28? Over the way 2.28 interpret correct. 2.28 is one. And from my interview. Was 2.28. What it means is, now you have quoted the membership variable as 5, 0 and 1. 0 is what? No membership. 1 means what? Having membership. This means having membership because it's positive. 2.28 is positive. That means having membership. Zero and 1. 0, no membership, 1, having membership. So 2.28 means if you have membership, right? But people get a salary, a higher salary of how much? 2.28 thousand. Convert that to thousands, then you get it. 2,408. Right? People who are having membership get additional or an increment of $2,480 salary. Having membership. Right? Having membership, people who have membership will get an additional right salary of 2,280 rupees or dollars in this case. These are dollars. Having membership program, yes, positive. That's how you put it. 2,108. Okay. Okay. 2,108. Membership rate, you know, you can additional 2,208 left. Although it's not significant, predicted. That's how you predict that because the overall quantity is significant. So you put interface that in that manner. Okay. So good. Oh, that cup. एक आदमी दारू टेक्निक्स का चूज कर देता होगा टेक्निक यूज कर एंटी भी सारा आल वाला दैट इज ऊपर टू वेरी गुड आई रियली अप्रिशिएट देवर नो यूज टेक्निक और जब स्पीक ऑन दैट कर मुझे कुछ चलो तो व्हाट्स ऊपर टू बट यार ये पापा ने क्या करे बिकॉज़ यू हैव टू द कंटेक्स्ट very fast is very so when you give ChatGPT prompts because they're from engineering, use the context. Give the context. Tell what's the background, who you are, what's the background, then it will give. Right? A proper result. Right. Good, good. I'm very happy. People are taking that steps as well. Right. Now let's come into, so those are the things that I want to discuss with you. Now write assumptions in regression analysis. Did we discuss this? No. So please write down assumptions in regression analysis. Assumptions in regression analysis. Assumptions in regression analysis. Assumptions in regression analysis.
Example three, which is an example. So we classify example into two. One straightforward represented carbon behavior. So we discuss both. Let's see straightforward example. These assumptions are straightforward example. Straightforward, direct example. Buddha ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහනවා. දැන් බුදෙක් අහනවා how can we state මේක කොහොමද අපි ඒක save කරන්නේ? This how you could save. Thank you for that question. Then මේ state output එක ආවනේ. You got the state output. Now she is asking how can you save this particular state out? What you can do is Putha, look at exactly what I'm doing. You can copy this and then right click and copy as picture. Thank you. No input is detected. Go with the input detect with this. The input මේ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. So interesting. Now she asked an important question. Right? She asked, how can we save this output? How can we save this output? Now let me teach you how to do that. You have to copy that. But copying has to be done in a careful manner. You select the output and then right click and copy as picture. You have to select copy as picture. And then put that into a Word file. You put that to a Word file. Then it will look like this. Use copy as picture. And if you want to make a nice table, copy this to ChatGPT. So I'm going to go to my beloved ChatGPT. And let's start a new prompt and paste it. It's not taking for some reason.
So you can add that and you can ask it to prepare a nice table. One that I don't know why it's not coming. So usually it will be pasted. Or you have to save it as a file. So what I'll do is I'll save this as a file. So this one I'll save it as a file. So good question that you asked. Then let me put that into browse. And let me save it in that file under downloads. So I'll call it data output. So it's saved. Now what I'll do is I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll add that file here. Data output file. And then I'll give the prompt like this. I think it's not allowing to upload that. I need to close that file. Then let's try again. Some error message is come. No text could be found from this file. So I have to save it as a picture. Let's call it state output. Close the picture and let's upload it. Okay. So the output was taken and I could say prepare a file, prepare a table to be included in my thesis. Just give that prompt. Then see what it does. Then it gives a nice regression table within seconds. And also the interpretation is also given. So within seconds, it prepares. I think I answered your question. Copy as well, but what you can do is another way to avoid that copying and pasting. Another way is that you can copy as it is. You can go to data and you can copy this as it is. Copy, right click and copy as table. Copy as picture, then copy as table and go to ChatGPT and do the same thing. Paste it. Hit enter, then it knows that what's the prompt I want at a table. It will have the same effect. So in ChatGPT, it will prepare and give you the table within seconds. If not, you can take 5 minutes to format that word. If you want that word, you can give me the word file. So just say word file. Then it gives the word file. So ChatGPT could save an enormous amount of time. Okay. The Word file is there. And you can get the Word file as well. If you want that in Excel, it will give the Excel file also. So that's how we could get a nicely formatted file. Okay. But for your reports, if you want to have it, copy and paste that file. Picture of this guy. In SPSS, you get an elegant table code, but in Stata, you get this kind of format. But if you have that, if you get easily convert that into a nicely formatted table. Do that, but again, once you prepare the table, take that with the origin. Don't trust that table. And sometimes it gives wrong interpretations. Right, here you can see now the constant is the intercept. Membership fund does not have a significant impact. Right? This activity into population quality areas. We can get it done. Use technology. Why should you waste your time? If you have some pictures or diagrams or even PowerPoint to be prepared, you can ask ChatGPT to do that. And if you're on VBA, you can even ask ChatGPT to come up with the VBA code. So you can create a PowerPoint file. Likewise, if you know technology, you can save an enormous amount of time. Hours and hours you can save, and you can use that for communicating. These are operational preparing table, formatting tables. These are operational. So for me, it's waste of time, complete waste of time. So I would have used an assistant for that, but now I have my assistant over here, that's ChatGPT. I don't even write now. If there's a lengthy email I will write, I will prepare my assistant to write. I just, while I'm traveling in public transport or in a cab or whatever, I will tell my assistant, ChatGPT, what's the email I need, and I'll ask it to draft. It gives an elegant drafted email where I just copy and paste and send it to them. At the end of my journey, I will then send it. So likewise, it saves a lot of time. Right. Ready? Right. So good question. Thank you for the pause. I think I answered it. Right. Then let's come back and now let's see what are these assumptions. You can see the first assumption is what? The type of variable. First assumption is the requirement. So requirement rather than necessary, but again it's an assumption itself. The dependent variable always should be a continuous variable. The dependent variable should always be a continuous variable. But on the other hand, the independent variables could be either continuous or dictonumers or down variable. You should use it. How, for example, membership or no membership, gender, are those continuous variables? Is gender a continuous variable? And there are people now, yes, if you have more than 0 and 1, right, 0 female and 1 male, can there be points on 5? Can there be points on 5? No, it's not a continuous variable. It's what? It's a candidate variable. So, independent variables could be candidate variables as you saw, membership term, gender, male, female. So, remember the first assumption is that the dependent variable of the regression analysis should always be a continuous variable. It has to be continuous. Now, in our example, we took salary. Is salary a continuous variable? Yes or no? Yes. It's measured in numbers. Can be in numbers.
Then how about the independent variables? We have three independent variables now. What are three independent variables? The experience. Experience, is it a continuous variable? Yes. Then we took marks. The score. Is it a continuous variable? Yes. Membership. Is it a continuous variable? No. It's a dictonymous variable. Dictonymous means it has two positions in it. Yes, no. Having membership, no. Gender, is it a dictonymous variable? Yes. Male, female. Dictonymous variable can have positions divided. There are two positions. Yes, no. Or like male, female. So the first assumption is that in a regression analysis, in an OLS regression analysis, the dependent variable should be a continuous variable, while the independent variable should be what? Could be continuous or dictonymous variable. Right? Understood? So that's the first assumption. The second assumption is non-zero variance. What do you mean by that? Non-zero variance, that means you cannot have zero variance for variance. Let me give an example. I'm not going to use the board because if I use the board, the people online won't be able to see them. So I'm going to use what? Because this is not now working. I'm using my screen. So I'm going to use an Excel file for that. Non-zero variance. Now, what's non-zero variance? Now, look at this example. I'm going to take only 4 computer programs. Let's say for an example. Let's say name. Let's call A, B, C, and D. You also can take down this example, right? And say select, let's say experience. Experience. Let's say 10 years, 10 years, 10 years, and 10 years. In marks. Let's say 20, 30, 40, and 50. Then select. Let's say 1,000, 24,000, 34,000, 44,000, something like this. Now, by looking at this example, can you tell me there's a variable that has zero variance? What's that variable? There's a variable that has zero variance. What's that variable? What is the variable? Zero variance. What is the variable? Experience. Why it has zero variance? Because it's voltage. Variance is happening. There is happening. Can that be an independent variable? Can that be an independent variable? Is there a meaning of that variable? Because it doesn't vary. So first kind of variables are meaningless variables. We should not take it as what? As an independent variable. Because it doesn't vary, it doesn't have any impact on the dependent variable, sorry. Because it doesn't vary. A variable needs to be varied. So the second assumption is that non-zero variance. A variable should have non-zero variance. It cannot be zero variance. Example, experience in this. For example, it will be the other. Experience cannot be a variable. I think we should have. Because it doesn't vary. It has zero variance. Zero variance, not accepted. Variables are zero variance, not accepted.
variables having zero variance is not accepted as a variable. Either dependent or dependent. Variables will keep non-zero variable. Very good. Zero can keep minimum. That way.
Good.
Non-zero variable. There cannot be variable that has zero variables.
So experience cannot be a variable. It cannot be taken as a variable for what? Regression analysis. No. There's no point. It doesn't vary. So that's the second assumption. Non-zero variables. Zero variables not accepted. They are non-zero variables. Third one, linearity. We expect lines. Right? In linear regression, we expect lines, not curved linear relationships. We expect lines. Lines are expected. Not relationships, hyperbolas, no. Curved linear relationships are not taken into consideration. There has to be what? Lines. Linear relationships, of course, that's what we call linear regression. Then, independence. Again, if I go to that example, independence. Each observation needs to be independent from other observation. Can I have again A? මම ඒට කැමති නිසා A ආයෙත් දාන්න පුළුවන් මේ. Can I put again A and run the regression? That's the last one. The observations should come from separate integers, separate couples, not repeat. Here, if you put A again, that's wrong. So put it and cut it and say 1. It's not independent. Right? So I'm going to cut it. Subscript, superscript. Right. So I just cut it because it's not accepted. Here you can see. Independence, that's the last requirement. Last straightforward assumption. This one. Assumptions. First one was what? The independent dependent variables, the nature of the independent dependent variables. Then the second one, non-zero variance. The linearity, the final one, independence. All values of the outcome, that means the dependent variable, and the others should come from a different person, not from the same person. So again, you cannot get a respondent again into the database because no repetitions are accepted. It's not independent, it should take again. It has to be independent observation. Right? So these are the straightforward assumptions. But these are the straightforward assumptions. Then after this, I'm going to discuss more tricky assumptions. More tricky assumptions. So how many straightforward assumptions are there? 4 straightforward assumptions are there. Nature of the independent dependent variables, non-zero variance, as well as what? You will have linearity as well as independence. So these are the 4 straightforward assumptions. Then I have some repetition repeated again but 6 more assumptions, right, that will be decided. Right, for that we use a tutorial. I'm going to ask you to use a tutorial for that. I will use the tutorial, and with that, we'll try to do an actual example. Right. For that, please go back to the LMS. Please go back to the LMS. And then there is a document called, under week number 6, there's a document called Status Session 4 Data OLS Regression Assumptions. Can you download that? So open that Word file. Right? Okay. So I'm going to teach you now 6 major assumptions in OLS regression. 6 major assumptions. What are these 6 major assumptions? Number 1, of course, we have already discussed that, but again, the number 1 is linearity assumption. I'm going to teach you how to test that. Linearity. Then number 2, multi-coordinate assumption. No multi-coordinate assumption. What's multi-coordinate? I'm going to explain that to you. Then no autocorrelation. That's the third assumption. Likewise, there are 6 assumptions that I will teach. For doing this, we need a new file to be downloaded. So please download. So that's what it's told. Please go and download this Status Session 3 Survey for ED DTA file. You can download it from the LMS. So go to, let's see, where is that? Ah, yes, here. It's there in week 5. In week 5, there's this file called Status Session 3 Survey for ED. Under week 5, it's there. Can you please download it and open it in Stata? Can you please download it and open it in Stata? The file name is Status Session 3 Survey for ED. It's in week 5. Week 5, did you download that? So I'm going to download that. And open that file. Open that in Stata. Did you locate that file? So download it and open it in Stata. So how to open that? Just open a fresh Stata session or even the existing one. Go to open. And you can see that there is that. Status Session 3 Survey for ED. So open that. It will say the memory interchange. You can say save. You can give some name, or you can say don't save. In that case, file open. Because you don't need to save anything. Don't save. So it will open the file. Open a fresh Stata session and load that file. Is it open? So you should see now, once you import a file, if not importing, it's open. Once you open a file, what you need to do? Browse and see the contents. Shall we see the contents? Let's use browse. Browse. So you will see there is gender, age, and likewise lot of data. Did you get that? First thing is that. Then now let's see what we are trying to do. Make sure it's there and you can close this after this. Let's go to the Word file. Then the first requirement is run an OLS regression. Right? The dependent variable is total life satisfaction, T life set. That's a dependent variable. T life set, total life satisfaction. The independent variable is age and perceived stress, total perceived stress, that's TP stress. And run the regression. Can you please run the regression? The dependent variable is total life satisfaction. Locate T life set. And then there are two equation variables, age and total perceived stress. Can you run the regression? Can you run the regression? E5, percent B, 30.5. E5 request. We have this age figure, what was it present? You know, all the division. So let me show you how to do that. How to run the division. I can say some people have done it very good. So once you open the dataset, go to statistics, linear regression. Then here, select what? Go to the bottom. It has a podda kulate. You can see there's a variable called T life set. You know, TP stress T life set. There are several variables. Locate T life set. Okay. Now type කරන්න T life set කියලා. ඔක්කොම එක. ඊළඟට select කරන්න what? The independent variables. First one is the age. The second variable is again go to the bottom and go little bit up. And you will see there's a variable called TP stress. TP stress system. Right? Did you did the selection? Because they right. Then A and TP stress is there. Now what you need to do is press OK. Right, how many observations are there in this data? Observations there are 430. Is the overall model valid? Yes or no? Yes. Why? I say depth test sequences, depth test 0.0. How about the R squared value? Is it good or bad? It's only 24.45. Is it good? No. Only 24%. of the life satisfaction to be explained by the two selected independent variables, age and stress. That means almost 76% of the variation in the dependent variable, life satisfaction, is explained by some other variable. These two variables are equal to account for how much? 24%. That good? It's a very tiny value. That means 50% explained power would have been done. So the explained power is quite good. How about if you look at age and stress, are those significant? Are those significant predictors of life satisfaction? How about age? Is it a significant predictor? No. You can see the sig value is 0.846. It's well above 0.05. So it's not a significant predictor. It's not a significant predictor. How about TP stress? Total positive stress. Is it a significant predictor?
Yes.
Why? Because it has what? Less than 0.05 sigma. And stress has what kind of a relationship with life satisfaction? Minus 0.57. That means if stress goes up by 1 Likert scale, the life satisfaction goes down by 0.57 Likert scale. These are measured in Likert scale. Age is measured as age, then stress and life satisfaction are measured in Likert scale. Right. Okay. Right. So now let's test different assumptions. First assumption, please take down. Please take down the first assumption, which is called linearity. So this is the first assumption. Please take down linearity assumption. We need to see whether the independent and the dependent variables are having a linear relationship. Whether there is a linear relationship or independent dependent variables, linear related. Right, that's what we are doing. How can we check this? We can check this by drawing scatter diagram. We can check this by drawing dot diagrams on the scatter diagram. Did we draw scatter diagrams? When did we draw scatter diagrams? Where did we draw scatter diagrams? Last time scatter diagrams drawn. Where? When? Under correlation. We do scatter diagrams under correlation. That's where we do scatter diagrams. We can draw the same diagrams between the independent and the dependent variables. So how many scatter diagrams we have drawn? How many scatter diagrams do we draw? We draw 2 scatter diagrams. Because we have 2 independent variables. What are going to be the variables? 8 and 6. 2 scatter diagrams. It's a scatter diagram. I told you there are 2 axes. What are the 2 axes? X and Y. X axis is the horizontal axis, and the vertical axis is known as what? The Y axis. X should be represented by what? Independent of the dependent variable. Independent or dependent? Independent. Indeed, very good. Independent. Right. So here you can see we are going to draw the first scatter plot X and Y. X should be the independent variable. What's the first independent variable? Age. Age. And then total life self. That's the dependent variable. Draw and see whether you can see a linear relationship. Then draw a separate scatter plot diagram to see the relationship between what? Stress and life cycle.
Tell me whether you can see linear relationships by drawing. So I already told you how to draw scatter diagram. How to draw it? Very good. Scatter was right. Very good. Already some students have shown. Excellent.
පළවෙනි එකේදී ලීනියර් එකක් නම් පේන්නේ නැහැ හැබැයි. H එකයි live satisfaction. Draw it and see. Scatter diagrams.
Have you shown see? You can go to the front.
It can become clear on. Specifically, life satisfaction you can see. How to do scatter?
How to do a scatter diagram?
Go to stator. First of all. Go to graphs. Now see how to draw a scatter plot diagram. I'm teaching you, I think, the 5th time. Okay. For some people, you know how to do that, of course. Then go to what? Two-way graph. Because scatter has two axes. Two-way graphs. And then go to what? Create. Under create, you can see there's scatter. Then it asks what's the x and y variable. What's x here? Age. Age. Then what's the y variable? The y variable is this. T life set. T life set. Right? T life set. And that's it. Press accept and press OK. So it draws the diagram. A scatter plot diagram between these two. What kind of, do you see a linear relationship? Do you see a scatter relation? So this assumption of linearity seems quite vague for this way. A variable assumption is satisfied part of way. You don't see that this relationship is satisfied. So shall we now draw a scatter plot between what? The other way, the stress and light sense. Shall we draw it? Again, go to graphs, two-way, and now go to edit. And instead of what? Age, take total perceived stress, TP stress. Press accept, press OK. For this what you can see, a better linear relationship is observed. Can you see? When stress goes up, it seems there is a negative relationship. Since there's a negative relationship, when stress is going up, the life satisfaction is going up. When stress is going up, there is better negative relationship. That's what we saw. In the rectified analysis, we saw age did not have a significant impact. Age did not have. But stress did have a significant negative relation. That can be seen by looking at this diagram. Right? So what we can say is stress and
satisfaction. Yes, there is a linear relation. That's negative. But for age and life satisfaction, is there a relationship? Not that. We don't see that kind of a relationship. Right? That's what it is. Okay. That's how we checked the linearity. We checked the first assumption. What was the first assumption? Checking the linearity between the variables, integrated and integrated. And what was our conclusion? For age, there is not that much of linear relationship, but for traits, there is a linear relationship. That's the answer to first question. Right? What is the second assumption? Now go to the word file that we are using, and we can see the second assumption. Second assumption is, please take down no multi-coordinate. Second assumption is no multi-coordinate. That is the right. After a break, we discuss that. Right. For the break, I will so that what necessary break is there. So please comment 150, 150, 250, then 350. The time video. Time travel करने sessions. Please comment at 350. Here. Please comment 353.
දෙනෙක් කරනවා. තුන් දෙනෙක් කරනවා. ඒක ටිකක් නෑ. චාර්ටර් නේ මොනවා බේස් එක තියාගෙන කොහොමද අපි එක්සෑම් කරන්නේ? කරත් අපි මේකප් එකක් කරමු. මට විෂන් එකත් එක්ක පොඩි රික්වෙස්ට් එකක් දාන්න. හරි. නැත්නම් මට ඊළඟ සැරේ එක්ස් එකේ වෙන්නේ ඊළඟ වීක් එකේ එන්නේ. මට දෙන්නට මේ මට පොඩි අදහසක් තියෙනවා හැබැයි ඉතින් වෙලාව තියෙන්නේ නැති වෙයි වගේ කරන්නේ. ඒ පුතා ගෲප් ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකක් කරන්න මදි වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මම ටිකක් වෙලාව මදි කියලා මට හිතෙනවා. ඒක කරන්න බැරි වෙයි. Very good. Oh, okay.
Information technology company sir. Okay, forensic technology sir. OT berarti sir dia bakal di kelas analytics එකයි forensic accounting section එක තෝරගන්න ඕනේ sir. ඔව්. sir අපිට sir online සිලබස් එකකින්
එහෙම ඒක මොනවාගේ අනාගතේ දිහා බලන්න. මේ පැත්තෙන් යන්න බලන් ඉන්නේ. දැන් අපිට forensic පැත්ත කියලා කියන්නේ එක පැත්තක්. සිස්ටම් ටෙක්ස් කියලා කියනකොට වෙනතෝ. ඒ අනුව තමයි ඩිසයිඩ් කරන්නේ. මොකද අගක්
අප දැනට assistant accountant වගේ work කරන්නේ.
ඔව්. ඒ ඉස්සර අවුරුදු 10කට පස්සේ අපිට වාපුත දැන් කියන්නේ අවුරුදු 10කට පස්සේ ඔය කොච්චර තියෙන්නේ කවද? බිස්නස් ඇනලිටික් පැත්තේ නැත්නම් forensic පැත්තේ. කොච්චර කෙනෙක් විදිහට නැත්නම් අපිට තියෙන්නේ.
sir forensic
එනයි ආයතන එච්චර. අනාගතේ ටාගට් කරලා දාගන්න. ඒක නෙවෙයි. දැන් තියෙන තත්ත්වෙනේ. දැන් තියෙන තත්ත්වෙ තමයි මාසයකින් මම ඉස්සෙල් පුළුවන්. වාගලන් අවුරුදු 10කින් පස්සේ ඔය ටාගට් එක what pain now forensic accountant we did not the forensic analytic we did not even think about zero qualification
sir මම research එක මේ පැත්තෙන් යන හින්දා මම ගොඩක්ම අර forensic පැත්තට තමයි යන්න බැරි sir.
ඉතින් ඒක පුතා ඒ පැත්තේ එන ටාගට්. ඒතකොට රිසර්ච් එකත් align වෙනවා. වාගේ subjects උත් align වෙනවා. so වා forensic පැත්තේ professional qualification එක කම්. chartered උත් කරගෙන chartered උත් කරගෙන අරකට කරගත්ත පුතා වන්න වාගේ equation එක ගන්න. මොකද කරන්නේ හැමදේම පුතා ටාගට් එකක් තියෙනවා. මම කරන්නේ එක එක ස්කැටර්ඩ් විදිහට කරන වැඩක්. ඒක කරන්න ඕන ටාගට්.
analysis පැත්තට යනවා sir ඒක නේද?
හරියට සම්පූර්ණ. ෆොරෙන්සික් පැත්ත කියන්නේ පුතා අර ෆොරෙන්සික් කියන වචනේම අර්ථය තමයි උසාවියකට එවිඩන්ස් නිර්මාණය කරන. එවිඩන්ස් නිර්මාණය කරන එවිඩන්ස් දෙන්නේ. ඒතර මේ පැත්තෙන් පුතා ඒක ඔක්කොම යන්නේ. ඒතර මේ පැත්ත ඒකේ තියෙන ඇටික්ස් පැත්තක්. නමුත් ඊට වඩා දැන් ඔයාගේ මේන් ටාගට් එකේ තියෙන ෆොරෙන්සික් accounting පැත්තට මේක එවිඩන්ස් කලෙක්ෂන් evidence in the chain of custody के देवल के एक देवल थी it was a rule of evidence laws evidence law of custody एक एक देवल थी लंका ये वो होता थी करने के लिए अप्लाई करना पड़ा और क्या मतलब बच्चे ये करना पड़ता है गेट को अपने लेकिन एक सौ एक का कोई एडिशन एक गाड़ी दी और बाला निकल इस तरह हट दे चाहे टीपीडी पावर यूज कर ला बाला नहीं इस तरह हट वही पैसे देखे लगे तो गाड़ी जो प्रमाण थी जो प्रमाण में तीन निकालने में और බලන්න ඕන පුතා අනිත් දෙක ඒකට එහා ගිහිල්ලා මොකක්ද වැඩි ඩිමාන්ඩ් එකක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මොකක් අපි whatever set and done උන්ට giving up කරන්න ඉතින් giving up අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. ඉතින් මොකක්ද මොනවද පුතා කට්ටි ඉන්නවනේ ඉතින් තරගයක් ඇවිල්ලා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම සැලරි සට් වෙනවා. ඩිමාන්ඩ් සප්ලයි එක වෙච්ච ගමන් පුතා ඒක අඩු වෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒවත් ඔක්කොම හොයලා බලන ඩිසිෂන් එක. ඒක පුතා whatever you like to do ඔන්න කියන්නේ දරුවෝ කැමති තමයි. අපි කියනවා. අපි පුතා ගුරු විදිහට අපි ප්‍රෙෆර් කරන්න පුළුවන් එකේ පැතිවල. ඒක හරියන්නේ නැහැ. වාගේ කැමති පැත්තේ අපි ප්‍රොමෝට් කරන්න. ඔය කැමති පොලිස් කපුට ගැට්ටෝට ඇහුවේ එඩිෂන් එක ගන්න කි. හොඳට සොයලා ගන්න ගන්න එඩිෂන්. මොකද ෆොරෙන්සික් පද්ධතියේ ඔපචුනිටිස් ඉස්සරහට මොකද ක්‍රියේට් වෙන්නේ. මට්නම් පේන්නේ ඉතින් හොඳ අනාගතයක් තියෙන කොන්සෙප්ට් එකක්.
ප්‍රොබ්ලම් ඉන්වෙස්ටිගේෂන් වගේ
දෙපැත්තට යනවා. මොකද කවදාවත් ඕක නැති වෙන්නේ නැහැ.
ඔව් අනිවාර්යයෙන්
ෆ්‍රොඩ් එක කවදාවත් නැති වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද ඒක තියෙන කල් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒවත් කල්පනා කරලා මේක ඉෂ්ට.
so thank you so much.
No problem.
Isso, nossa, eu vi na página mais de default, tem que a pista falando no depois que sabe que se tem que ao poder mecânico.
ඔව්. තාම මොකද්ද කැමති පැත්තේ මොකක්ද? ඒක තියෙන පුතා දැන් පෙරදරුවෙක් මට හරියට අවබෝධ වෙන්නේ මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් ගැන. නමුත් මට ඒක සබ්ජෙක්ට් ඒරියාස් ගැන කියත හැකි. මොකද්ද පුතා තියෙන්නේ? අපි ක්ලික් පොලිටික් බිස්නස් සයිට්.
Business analytics තියෙනවා, financial analytics කියලා තමයි එකක් තියෙනවා.
තමයි. පුතාගේ උගේ තියෙන පුතා කැමති ඒරියාස් තුනෙන් තමයි මට තේරුනේ. පුතා මෙහෙම පුතා මන්නම් කියන්නේ එඩිෂන් එක ගනිද්දී ආ බලන්න ඕනේ තව අවුරුදු 10කින් පුතා ඔයා පෙන්ටින් එක කැමතිද? පුතා මොකද කැමති? අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒක පුතා. අනිවාර්යෙන්. දැන් මොන ක්ෂේත්‍රෙද? බිස්නස් ඇනලිටික්ස් පැත්තද? පොලිටික් පැත්තද? කැමති. එහෙනම් පුතා ඔය පැත්තට යන්න. පොලිටික් පැත්ත පුතා හොඳ ලොක්කට ඒක ටිකක් ඒ කියන්නේ හරි ස්පෙસિෆික් ඒරියා එකක්. එතකොට ඒකත් යනවා නම් පුතා තියෙන ඔපචුනිටිස් ටික හරි ස්පෙસિෆික්. ඒ වගේම වෙල් පේ. ඒක නම් පුතා වෙනසක් නෙවෙයි. පුතා අපි තෝරගන්න එකක් වෙල් පේ වෙන්න ඕන. අනිත් එක හොඳ මේකක් තියෙනවා. වත් ඒක හොඳ ඩිමාන්ඩ් එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක හොඳයි නරක නෑ. අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කිසි ගැටලුවක් නෑ. හැබැයි තියෙන්නේ ඔයා බලන්න පුතා ඒක හොඳ ස්පෙસિෆික්. ඒකට ඒකේ ඔය යනවනම් උපරිමයට යන්න ඕන. නිකන් බාගෙට ගිහිල්ලා ආයෙත් හැරෙන්න බෑ. ඒකට ඒකට ආගෙන යන්න පුළුවන් නිසා වර්ෂ බලන්න ඔපචුනිටිස් තව මොනවද ඉස්සරහට තියෙන්නේ කියලා ඒක ගැටලුවක්. අනිත් පැත්තේ පුතා බිස්නස් ඇනලිටික්ස් එක much broad. ඒකට ඒකේ පුතා බිස්නස් ඇනලිටික්ස් වගේ කරගෙන යනවා නම් ඔයාලට ඉම්පැක්ටින් පුතා කොහොමද යන්නේ කියන එක ඔයා කියන එක ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකත් broad. ඒක ටිකක් broad field එකක් වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ඒක ගොඩක් කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා. එනවා. ඒ field එක ගොඩක් කට්ටිය එනවා. ඒ demand එක high නිසා දැන් තියෙන demand එක high නිසා ගොඩක් කෙනෙක් ඒක කරනවා. ඒකට ඒකත් එක්ක demand එක quite high. අනේ supply එකත් high. ගොඩක් දෙනෙක් කරනවානේ. එතන පුතා පොඩි issue එකක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා පුතා දැන් ඔයාගේ forensic පැත්තට කැමති නම් ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. හැබැයි ලංකාවේ තියෙන opportunities පුතා මම හිතන්නේ ලිමිටඩ් කියලා. ඉස්සරහට මම හිතන්නේ නැහැ ගොඩක්. ඒකට foreign බලාගෙන තමයි පුතා මේකට යන්නේ. හැබැයි ඒ දෙක අතර තමයි පුතා තෝරා ගැනීමක් කරන්න ඕනේ. තවත් ටිකක් හොඳට හොයලා බලන්න කියලා මම පුතාට කියනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ
අපිට කියන්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ කවුරුත් කියලා දෙන්නේ නැහැ සර් ඒක.
ඒ තමයි තියෙන කේස් එක අපි උදා ඒකට ඇත්තටම පොඩි සෙෂන් එකක් ඕගනයිස් කරන්න කිව්වා නම් හරි.
ඇත්තටම හොඳයි.
මොකද පුතා දැන් විශේෂයෙන්ම දැන් ඔතන ෆීල්ඩ්ස් හතරක් නේ. ෆීල්ඩ්ස් තුන හතරක් මාත් අපේ මේ කවුද බිස්නස් එකට කියන්නේ අපේ ඩිසාන්සර් පොඩි පුතාලා තින්දීමක් කරන්න. මේ පැත්තෙන් අපිට ඒ කියන්නේ අපි හතරට පැවිදිලා හතර දෙනෙක්ට ඒක උගන්වන හතර දෙනාට කියන්න පුළුවන් නේ පුතා. අනසින් උගන්වන හතර දෙනෙක් ඇතිනේ උතන. බිස්නස් ඇනලිටික්ස් උගන්වන මනුස්සයෙක් කියන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයා මොකද්ද හිතන්නේ මේක තව මුද්දායකින් බිස්නස් මොකක්ද? ෆොරෙන්සික් පැත්ත මොකද කියලා. ෆොරෙන්සික් පැත්ත මාත් කැමතියි හැබැයි එතන තියෙන ඉෂුව එක තමයි ඒක ස්කෝප් එක හරිය නෑ. ඒක යන්න පුතාන උසාවියට මේ ඉදිරිපත් කිරීමක්. මොකද එවිඩන්ස් ඉදිරිපත් කිරීම. ඉතින් ඒ පැත්ත තමයි යන්නේ. ඒකට ජෙන්ඩර් ගැන මම මොනවද කියන්නේ හොඳ ෆොරෙන්සික් එකවුන්ටර් ඉන්නවා ලේඩිස්ලා. නමුත් ඒ පැත්ත ගැන පුතා හිතන්න වෙයි කියලා මට හිතෙනවා. ඒක කිසිම අදාළ දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. maybe you have to think of අනිත් පැත්තෙන් business analytics කියන එක broad area. So you can apply that to anywhere and everywhere. So I think opportunities වැඩි කියලා මට දැනට පේන market trend එකේ පේනවා. ඉතින් හැබැයි ඉස්සරහට පුතා කොයි වගේ තත්ත්වයක් එයිද කියලා මට කියන්න අමාරුයි. But if you love forensic accounting and if your heart says that I have to be a forensic accountant, එහෙනම් පුතා ඒ පැත්තට දාන්න නැහැ. ඒතකොට ඔයාගේ සියලුම qualifications හදාගන්නත් ඕනේ ඒ පැත්තට. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයා දැන් හිතන්න ඕන I am going to be a forensic accountant. I the business analytics skill again, it's a little bit broad. I think you can decide what might be the most suitable for you. තව චුට්ටක් ඒ ගැන හිතා හිතුවොත් විතර බලන්න කියලා මම කියනවා.
තාත් මම හිතලා බලලා අසත් එකක්
මට කතා කරන්න ඔයා පුතා මට ගේන්න මෙන්න මේ සෝසස් වලින් මෙන්න මේ වගේ ට්‍රෙන්ඩ්ස් කියනවා. මෙන්න මේ සෝසස් තියෙනවා. එතකොට දැන් hard and fast එක forensic accounting වෙනවා නම් ඒක පුතා තියෙනවා specific qualifications ටිකක් කරගන්න ඕනේ. business analytics වලට එහෙමම specific වෙන්න ඕනේ නෑ. You can go ahead with that. So ඒක තවත් එතකොට පුතා දැන් master එකක් කරලා MSc එකක් clear one of business analytics with master එකක්. නැත්නම් කියන්නේ මේකට ලේක specialize කරන්න පුතා. මේක ඒ වගේ පුතා you can think of. ඒක කොච්චර දුරට පුතා ඉස්සරහට තියෙන තව අවුරුදු 10කින් 15කින් කොච්චර මේකක් තියනවද කියන එක මරණා පුතා ඔබ ඩිසයිඩ් කරනවා. දැන්ට පුතා බලවත් කරන්න.
මම දැන්ට වර්ක් කරන්නේ සසලි.
සරි කොහොමද?
විචේ.
විචේ. පුතා මොකද උගන්වන්නේ? ෆයිනන්ස්. what is it? හරි. විචේ. දැන්ට ඔඩිටින් මොනවද කරන්නේ නැහැ නෑ දැන් පුතා නෑ නේ දැන් පුතා දැන් කොච්චර කල් මේ ට්‍රේනින්ග් ගත්තද මේකේ
දැන් පන්නේ තාම නැහැ
පන්නේ පාටේ ඔඩිට් ෆන් යන්නේ සිටිවිල්ලක් තියෙනවා
ඉතින් තියෙනවා සර් හැබැයි ඒ සර ෆයිනෑන්ෂියල්
of course ඒක මට you don't need to tell that ඒක පුතා ඒක ලොකු ඉෂුව එකක් I know that ඉතින් ඒ අනුව පුතා තීරණය කරනවා because සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ෆොරෙන්සික් පැත්ත යනවා නම් ඒ ඔඩිටින් පැත්තේ තමයි යන්නේ වෙන්නේ. ඒකට ඒ ෆවුන්ඩේෂන් එක හදාගෙන ෆොරෙන්සික් ඩිවිෂන් එකට පුතා ඇටච් වෙනවා. එන ඉමීඩියට් පුතා ඔය shift වෙනවා ෆොරෙන්සික් ඩිවිෂන් එකට. ඒ පැත්තනේ දැන් ඔක්කොම එලයින් වෙනවා නේද? ඒකයි පුතා ඔයා ඩිග්‍රී කරලා ඊට පස්සේ මාරු වෙන්න හිතන්නේ. ඒ ඔක්කොම දැන් එලයින් කර ගන්නවා. දැන් තියෙනවා පුතා ඔය KPMG එකේ තියෙන EY තියෙනවා. Deloitte එකේ තියෙනවා. PwC විච් එක තමයි Deloitte එකට ස්විම් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේ පුතා තියෙනවා ඒවයි ඩිවිෂන්ස් ෆොරෙන්සික් ඩිවිෂන්. එහෙනම් පුතා ඒකට එලා යනවා. ඒකට එලා ගන්න ඒකට පැනලා මොකද ඒ ප්‍රොෆයිල් එක හදා ගන්නවා. ඊට පස්සේ ක්වොලිෆිකේෂන්ස් ටික ගන්නවා ෆොරෙන්සික් ක්වොලිෆිකේෂන්ස් ටික. ඒ වගේ. but business analytics එකේදී ওই ෆර්ම මේකම තියාගෙන පාට ඉදිරියට යන්න පුළුවන් කියලා මට හිතෙනවා. ඒක මේක තියාගෙන තවත් බ්‍රෝඩ් කරලා මොකද අගේන කල්පනා කරලා business analytics much broad. අරකට නැරෝව කියන මට හිතෙනවා පුතා වගේ මොකද පුතාගේ ප්‍රොෆයිල් එක කරන් බැලුවොත් දැන් achieve කරගෙන තියෙන ඒවත් එක්ක අර පැත්ත කියනකන් ස්පෙસિෆික් ඒරියා එකට ඔය නැවිගේට් කරන්න යනවා. අවක් නැහැ. but you have to align your trainings.
business analytics mathematical side එක
මැත් එක අඩුම ගානේ එක ෆෝමියුලා එකක් මම කියලා දෙනවා. application. actually business area of financial මේ මොකද අර කිව්වේ මොකද financial මේ මොකද
financial
analysis. ඒ කියන්නේ ගැඹුරට මේ business analytics මම දන්නේ මේ ස්කෝප් එක මොකද්ද කියලා මම දන්නේ නැහැ මේ කොහොමද කියලා. මම සාමාන්‍ය business analytics වල අපිට එක්ස්පෙක්ට් කරන්න බෑ පුතා මේ අර වගේ නේ. ඒක එක්ස්පෙක්ට් කරන එක වැරදිම. මොකද පැකේජින් එක කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් වැඩක් නැහැ නේ පුතා මම මෙතන ෆෝමියුලා කියලා. වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒකට ලයින් වෙන්න ඕන අරකට. මට නම් හිතෙන ඉබේස් එකක් අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. It's not required. එහෙම මම දන්න විදිහට නම් ඒක මේව රික්වයර් කරන එක මගේ පර්සෙප්ෂන් එක ගන්න ඒක සුදුසුයි. ඒක හොඳයි ඔය මැතමැටික්ස් කරලා ඒ පැත්තේ මොට්ටුව ඒ මැතමැටික්ස් කරලා එන පුතා මොකද කරන්නේ කොමස්ද මේ කොමස් එකයි එතකොට එතනදී කරලා පුතා මේ ආයිත් අපිට මැත්ස් එකක් අපි අපේක්ෂා කරන එක දෙන්නත් වැඩක් ඒක නිසා මම හිතන්නේ එහෙම දෙයක් තියෙනවා.
සර් මේක ඉගෙන ගන්න තිබුණා මම ඉංග්‍රීසි ස්ටැටිස්ටික්ස් නේ. එතකොට එතන
ඇයි අපේ කාලේ නාස්ති කරේ කියලා. ඇයි පුතා මේ කාලේ නාස්ති කරේ වැඩක් නෑ තමන්න කිය. ඒක බේස් එක දැනගත්ත ගමක් නෑ. නිකන් පුතා පෑනයි පොලේයි තියාගෙන කැල්කියුලේට් පුතා මිනිස්සුන්ට වද දෙන්නේ. කැල් එකක්වත් චූස් කරන්න ඉඩ දෙන්නේ නැති වෙති නේද? දැන් අන්න යාන්තම් දැන් තමයි පුතා accounting වල දෙන්න ඉඩ දෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒව නම් පුතා හරිම පන්නම් කියන්නේ ගොම් වැඩ කියන්නේ. ඒක නම් ඇයි අපි දෙන්නේ නැත්තේ? හරි ඉතින් මේ පැත්තේ වාට මේ සෙට් තියෙනවා ඉතින් ඔයාගේ දැන් නම් ලයින් වෙලා කියන්නේ ඩිස්කස් කරලා පරිසම් වෙනවා ෆීල්ඩ් එක මාරු කරනවා පුතා ඒක
එතන මට සේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක අපිට අවබෝධයක් ගන්න
ගොඩක් ස්පෙસિෆික් අපි ස්පෙસિෆික් ඒරියා එකක් ඒක ඉතින් පුතා ලෝ එක යන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ වා ලෝ කරන්නේ ඒ කරන්ට් එකේ කරන්නේ ඒකට පුතා දැන් අර කලින් දරුවෙක් කියලා කතා කරලා ඉතින් එයාගේ මම දැන් මිනිස්සේ කැමැත්තෙන් ඉන්නේ ඒ පැත්තේ යන්නද
ෆොරන්සික් පැත්ත
ෆොරන්සික් ඒතර මම කිව්වා ඉතින් ඒක හැබැයි පුතාගේ ප්‍රොෆයිල් එක අරන් ගලුවොත් මම හිතනවා රෝඩ ස්පෙක්ට්‍රම් එකේ යනවා නම් හොඳයි ඔය දැන් ස්ටැටිස්ටික්ස් නම් පුතා මේකටත් කරලා තියෙන දවස් පසාව අන්වර්ක් සෙක්ටර් එකකින් නම් ගියා ඒ වගේම ඔයාගේ අනාගතයේදී අපිට පුතා මට පේනවා හොඳයි කියලා ඇන්ටික්ස් වල. That's what I think.
ඉතින් දැන් කරගෙන ඉන්න සීට් පැත්ත දාමත් හරියන්නේ.
ඒක තමයි පුතා අරක පොඩ්ඩක් ස්පෙસિෆික් පැත්ත මම ඩිස්කරේජ් කරනවා නේ. නමුත් ඉතින් ඒක ස්පෙસિෆික් හැබැයි ඉතින් ඔඩිට් කරන්න යනවා නම් ඒ වගේ මේ පැත්තට කියලා. ඉතින් පුතා ඒක මගේ ඒ this was only my perception. My perception ඉතින් ඒක you can think of. ඒක මගේ ඉන්පුට් එක ඒ වගේ පුතා තව කීප දෙනෙක්ගෙන් අහන්න. අපි රිචාන්සර් කොට සජෙස්ට් කරමු. රිචාන්සර් කොට සජෙස්ට් කරමු. මේ අනිවාර්යයෙන් ඒගොල්ලෝ ආරිම පුතා මේ සැට් එක කියලා කියන පුතා ඒක ඇත්තටම දරුවෝ ගැන ගොඩක් හිතන දැනක්. ඒකට අපි පොඩ්ඩක් සජෙස්ට් කරොත් රිචාන්සර්ට අපේ නිසාන්දරිස්ට ඊට පස්සේ අපේ ඩිරෙක්ටර්ස් එකට කිව්වොත් ඒගොල්ලෝ පුතා අනිවාර්යයෙන් මේක හොඳ මේකක් පුතාට ඉන්පුට් එකක් දෙයි. දීලා වන්නන් කියන්නේ ඉතින් අර ඒකේ ඉන්න වන්නන එක්ස්පර්ට්ස් වලට ඇවිල්ලා පොඩ්ඩක් කතා කරන්න කිව්වොත් මම හිතනවා පුතාට හොඳ අවබෝධයක් දෙයි කියලා. එතකොට මොකද්ද ෆියුචර් එකේ ජොබ් මාකට් එක ජොබ් ඔපචුනිටිස් මොකක්ද කියලා. මම හිතන අනිවාර්යයෙන් ඒක කරයි. මම හිත පුතාලගේ ඒක ෆස්ට් බැච් එක විදියට ඔහොම යන්නේ. නෑ ඒක කලින් කියලා.
ස්පෙෂල් එක කරන කලින් හිටියා.
කලින් කියන්නේ අන්න අර ස්පෙෂල් එක. ඔන්ගෝයින් නේ නේද? අපි පුතා පොඩ්ඩක් මාත් කියන්න පුතාලට පොඩ්ඩක් ඉඳීමක් කරන්න මම pretty sure they will give a good input. පුතාගේ මේ ප්‍රොෆයිල් එක අරන් බලුවොත් මට හිතෙනවා ඇන්ටික් පැත්ත තමයි පොඩ්ඩක් හොඳ කියලා මගේ just I'm telling don't be biased. ඒක පුතා තවත් කීප දෙනෙක්ගෙන් අහලා බලන්න මොකද්ද ඒක අහලා කීප දෙනෙක්ගෙන් අහලා ඉන්ටර්විව් කරලා මේක ඉන්ටර්විව් එකක් වගේ බලලා we can make a good decision. කරන්න ඕනම දෙයක් බහැලා හොඳටම පුතා කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ ට්‍රේනින්ග් උත් එලයින් කරගන්න, ප්‍රොෆෙෂනල් ක්වොලිෆිකේෂන් එකට එලයින් කරගන්න, ඒ වගේ පුතා සීරියස්ම ඒකට එලයින් කරගෙන කරන්න උත්සාහ කරන්න. මේ කරන දෙයක් ඕනම පුතා බහැලා පරිමිතව කරන්න ඒක තමයි ඒක හරියයි. No problem. My pleasure. Surat. Kau putar tu tahu ni. Oh. එන්න පුතා හැබැයි මගේ බ්‍රේක් එක ඉවර වෙනවා පුතා තව විනාඩි 5කින් බලන්න. මොකද කරන්නේ? ඔයා එන්නකෝ කමක් නැහැ. පුතා එන්නකෝ 31 වලට. 31 වලට එන්නකෝ කමක් නැහැ. ඔව් 31. තුනේ එක පුතා. Kau kata apa?
One to the one night. On every range, in particular, one dollar. One dollar. Go with it. That's more than maybe 100%. Happening more than
Basically, feedback. Correct.
Okay, students.
Again, let us all with it.
Okay, shall we start? Right. So now let's look at the next assumption. So I know there are these critical assumptions that you have to say when you are going to perform the regression. First one was what? Linear. How can I say linear? Quite low. Right. So we now view two diagrams, one on 148, the other one for 8 from Dokara and Teuber and strength. Now let's see the second assumption. So if I take now second assumption is no party quality. No multiple. So you can take it down, no multiple. Now let's try to understand what multiple. Right. Now in this equation, we can see the independent variable and dependent variable. What are the dependent variables? Total life satisfaction is the dependent variable, and age and stress are the dependent variables. Right. What's alpha then? Alpha is the intercept. Alpha is the intercept. And beta 1 and beta 2 are what? The slope. The coefficient. Now, what we expect is age to have an impact on the total life satisfaction. Listen, age to have an impact on the total life satisfaction. Also, we expect stress to have an impact on total life satisfaction. Listen, age and stress to have an impact on total life satisfaction. But do you expect age and stress to have a relationship? Independent variables to have a relationship, do you expect them? No. You don't expect age and stress to have a relationship. Is it? Those are independent. The independent variable. So multi-polar issue means if the independent variables have an unnecessary high correlation. That's what we call multipolar. So please take down. Multipolarity means multipolarity issue means, let's say it's an issue. Multipolarity issue means that the independent variable. Multipolarity issue means, you can take down. Multipolarity issue means the independent variables having unnecessarily high correlation. Unnecessarily high correlation. The independent variables having unnecessarily high correlation. Unnecessarily high correlation. That's what multipolar. Unnecessarily high correlation. Right? The independent variables having unnecessarily high correlations are known as what? Multipolar. Do you expect the independent variables to have a high correlation with the dependent variable but not with other independent variables? That's what we call multipolarity. So, if the independent variables are having a high correlation, then we say that there's problem. Now to check that, we can perform two tests. There are two methods to test this. What are the two methods? Method 1 and method 2. Method 1 and method 2. Method 1, you can calculate the correlation formula and see whether the independent variables are having unnecessarily high correlation. You can check the independent variables whether they are having what? High correlation. Then method 2 is on BIF analysis, various differentiation factor. Right, we can ask state to calculate something called the BIF factor, and if the BIF factor is less than 10, we say that there is no multipolarity. Right. So let's do these methods, two methods, to see whether the independent variables are having high correlations. Unnecessarily high correlation. Right. Independent high correlated. Here we are multipolarity. We can check that. There is assumption. There is assumption that no multipolarity. What's multipolarity? The independent variables having high correlation.
We don't expect that kind of high quality. Now we have to check. I told you how many methods are there to check. There are two methods. What are the methods? One, you can check the correlation. The other one, you can check what? BSAA, variance inflation factor spread. So shall we check it? Right. So method one. So I have told under method one, you are going to check the correlation, and the correlation coefficient should be less than 0.8. 0.8 means what? In correlation analysis, the correlation coefficient, if it is 0.8 or above, that means what? There's a high, very strong positive correlation. We have to check whether there's a high positive correlation, and if there's no positive correlation, then there's no problem. If there is, then there's what? There could be multiple. Now here tell me what are the two independent variables again? What are the two independent variables? Age and stress. Age and stress are the independent variables. Now can you check the correlation between those two variables? Can you check the correlation between those two variables? Now I have already taught you how to do correlation analysis. Correlation analysis currently you do that. Oh, you do that. That's about that. This is resort. Doctors are. So I'm going to I thought my capacity. So you have to hospital. Oh, we got there. We got it up to hospital section. You don't know the get now. The gold is not coming in the girl is over there. Our one. So now, I'm going to ask anyone to come home. Oh. But you have to tell me how to do correlation. How can we do correlation? Let me show you. First of all, go to the data set. First of all, go to the data set and go to the correct data set where this data set is there. And then what you have to do is you go to what? Statistics, summaries, tables, and tests. Then summaries and descriptive statistics and go where? Pairwise forward. Pairwise forward. This is how we perform a correlation analysis. This is how we perform the correlation analysis. And what we are going to see is whether there is unnecessarily high correlation between the independent variables. Here there are only two, but if there are 3, 4, we have to check whether there is unnecessary high correlation between them. Right? So pairwise correlations. Good. Then here, choose the two independent variables. What are the two independent variables? Age. What's the other one? TP stress. So go to the bottom. And then you go a little bit up again. With the TP stress scale. Total perceived stress. And I'm going to press OK? No. Before you click OK, you have to tick two things. What are those? Yes. Print number of observations and as well as print the significance. Tick these two. May they tick click කරන්න OK. You have to click OK after you tick these two. And now press OK.
So can you interpret this result? The correlation between two independent waves. What's the correlation? Between the two independent waves. First of all, we will significant. Is it significant? It's significant. Is it significant?
Can I get a something now? We will long.
Is it significant or not? It's significant. Can you see? The second row shows the significant level. Second row shows the significant level. The second row shows the significant level. Second row shows the significant level. But if the relationship is strong, the relationship strong, the correlation coefficient could range from 1 to 1, -1 to +1. Right? What were the ranges of correlation coefficient? 0 to 0.2. If the correlation coefficient is 0 to 0.2, we call it what? Very weak correlation. 0.21 to 0.4, we call it what? Weak correlation. 0.41 to 0.6, we call it what? Moderate correlation. Moderate correlation. 0.61 to 0.8, we call it what? Strong. 0.81 to 1, what is it called? That's very strong correlation. Here what's 0.1265 minus. Then what's that? It's a very weak negative correlation between age and stress. Is it good? Yes, extremely. Why is that? Because multi-correlation means the independent variables having unnecessarily high correlation. Do we have that kind of unnecessary high correlation between the independent variables? Here, age and stress are the two independent variables. Is it having an unnecessary high correlation? No. There's a very weak negative relation. So what's our conclusion? There's no multi-correlation. Please write down. Since the correlation between age and stress variables, since the correlation between age and stress variables is minus 0.1265 is minus 0.1265 minus 0.1265 comma which is well below 0.8 comma which is well below 0.8 which is well below 0.8. It is concluded that There is no multi-coordinating. There is no multi-coordinating issue. There is no multi-coordinating issue. Owing to the, there is no multi-coordinating issue owing to the very weak negative correlation. Owing to the very weak negative correlation. Between very weak negative correlation between these two independent variables. These two independent variables. These two independent variables. These two independent variables. Owing to the very weak negative relationship between these two independent variables. Right? There is no one. That's method one. Now method two. Method two, a little bit lengthy method. To see whether multi-quantity is there. So let's see method two. My computer got a little bit stuck and I'm restarting Word. Not the computer, but Word. Okay, method two, you can see. Method one, I gave you a small note there. Perform a correlation analysis and ensure that independent variables do not have correlation above 0.8. It goes minus 0.1 to 1. Very small value. So in conclusion, there's no mark correlation. Then method two is what we call variance inflation factor analysis. VIF analysis. VIF stands for variance inflation factor. Right? VIF analysis. So this VIF factor should be less than 10. Right? For each variable, the VIF factor should be less than 10. Then also we could compute that there's no master. Now let me show you how to compute the multi-quantity. Right? Using the VIF factor. How to compute the VIF factor. Here I have given the part. Statistics, linear models and related. Now regression diagnostics. Then go to specification test and variance inflation patterns. So we do it together. It's a mouthful and we put on right each side. So let's see how to do this. How to compute the VIF values. So how to compute the VIF values? You go to Stata. First go where? What's the menu? Statistics menu. Go to statistics menu. Then go linearity and related. Then where? Linear regression the next. What? Regression diagnostics. These are regression diagnostics that we are doing. Then where? Specification tests. Write this down. We are doing a tutorial now that we are at our
statistics, linear modes and related, regression diagnostics, specification tests. Specification tests. Right? Specification tests. Statistics, linear, method and related, regression diagnostics, specification tests. Right? So click on that. It's all is there. Then you can see here, within the list without the on variance inflation factor analysis scale. Can you see that? Variance inflation factor put a part at the on the theorem of VIF factor analysis. Variance inflation factor. VIF. Variance inflation factor. Select that and now press OK. Shall I press OK? Variance inflation factor. Variance inflation factor. Okay, Anna Tina. Para Atharamane. Athutan. Gedala Dina. Variance inflation. Variance inflation factor. Inflation factor. Variance inflation factor. Variance inflation factor. Press OK. Right. One day, para all variance inflation factor. Here there is 1.02 and 1.02. But now look carefully. My output is there. I will not take corona there. They get the revision thing. I will do it. That's why I do it. This is the revision thing. Do it. You are first run the revision. Revision is going to the main test. Test again. This called post estimation command. First, you have to run the revision and then do the BI panels. Then revision is going to make it go ahead. You have to first run the revision and let's run the revision. Right. Now look at the VIF panel. What stands for VIF? VIF can work. They can present the very large. No. Variance equation. And I told you the VIF values for each variable and each variable should be less than 10. Let's see for the 8th variable. The 8th variable is 1.02. Is it below 10? 1.02 can get the exact one out of the value. Counting students. So it's less than 10. How about for stress? It's 1.02. Is it less than 10? Yes. So here also it indicates that there's no multiple issue because both the VIF values are essential. So you can then take down. Under method 2 also, under the method 2 also, under the method 2 also, it could be concluded that also, it could be concluded that there is no multi-coordinate issue. There is no multi-coordinate issue. There is no multi-coordinate issue as for both age, as for both age and stress variables, as for age and stress variables, the VIF values, the VIF values, the VIF values, variable, the VIF values are less than 10. Are less than 10. Are less than 10. The VIF values are less than 10. Right. So let me again tell what we did. What did we do? We checked the issue called multi-coding. Again, let me summarize because some people get a bit there. For them it will be a new thing, but for others it will be a revision. Up to now, how many assumptions that we have tested? Under the theory, where is the assumptions we have tested? Two assumptions were tested. Assumption number one was what? Linear. Whether the independent and the dependent variables have linear relationship. How did we test it? By drawing what? Kata factors. Not that. And we understood age and what? Right? The function does not have that much of a linear relationship, but stress and life satisfaction has quite linear relationship. So we saw that. So how did we establish it? By drawing capital diagram. That was the first assumption we checked. What was the second assumption we checked? The second assumption we checked is multi-correlation. No multi-correlation. Again, what's multi-correlation? Multi-correlation means the independent variables having high correlation. Do you expect high correlation between independent and independent variables? No. Do you expect the independent and dependent variables to have high correlation? Not independent and independent. Right? So here you can see, by looking at this equation that you tested, there are two independent variables. What are the independent variables? Age and stress. Now we need to see whether there is high correlation. I told you that there are two methods to check this. What are the two methods? One, perform a correlation analysis and see whether stress and age is having what? A high correlation. Usually if it is above 0.8, that's a problem. We call it as multi-correlation. Because independent and independent variables having too much unnecessary high correlation. So we performed a correlation analysis under method 1, is it? So what was the outcome? What was the outcome? It indicated minus 0.12 as the correlation between stress and the age variables. By looking at the what can say? There are marked it? No, because it's well below 0.8 plus or minus. It's well below 0.8. So there is no multi-correlation. Then number 2, the second method to check the multi-correlation. What was the second method? You generate the VIF value. What stands for VIF? Variance inflation factor. We understood the variance inflation factor should be less than 10. Then we computed the variance inflation factor using data, and in both cases, for both variables, the VIF values were less than even 5. It was 1.02, which is well below 10. So what was the conclusion? There is no multi-correlation. So that's it. So I have given a small note here also, even here. If VIF is more than 10, there is a multi-correlation. VIF value is there. What is multi-correlation? Whether the VIF value is here, they are no methods, we did two tests to check multi-correlation. Was that we performed a correlation analysis and well as we performed what? A VIF. In both cases,
it gives the same result that there is no funding for it. Is that clear? These are not difficult. The thing is, you have to apply this. Maybe current. Karla, I think it right? You don't get that unless you do it. That's why I'm asking you to sit with the person who has a computer and both of you do it together. Right? Because you will never get it. Right? So these are motor skills. You have to do it and you have to get those skills. Once you have the PDF, but you are writing a thesis, a PhD thesis, the research you have done on how to ride a bicycle. What you have never written a bicycle. Can you ride a bicycle? No. You can run the speed of time. But in that land, you have never started. But you are trying to learn the theory of swimming and everything, but you have never practiced. Can you see? You can't. Likewise, you can't master data or master statistics or data analytics, package-based data analytics, unless you do it and interpret this. So that's why my students, I'm telling you to practice. Practice. Now, 1 week has gone. Not 1 week, now several weeks have. But how many of you really practice at home? Don't raise your hands. Don't raise it. Just see if you have practiced. But very soon we'll have a midterm test. Very soon we'll have midterm test. And it will be on an individual basis. Good basis can lie and report parents. Field items are there. So I'll ask Ms. Sachnika to give us the lab. That will be it. Individual basis. But next week I am going to use one exercise. Next week, when I come to exercise, you know what? I'm going to give you an exercise. It was it. I'm going to give each of you 2 minutes to come and explain that to me. Done, chat GPT, done, copy done, Okko done, this is much there. I will learn you have explained to me how you did it. That's a make a move. You know, Mankana Rajagari, I don't think I'm doing it. As a teacher, I have to be effective and I have to make sure my students learn. You should learn. And also, on the other hand, I also need to make sure that you learn. To make you learn. Then, if you're bucking up, I will come and I will go. I teach what I know. But if you don't learn, I consider it as a personal failure. So I need to install an internal control. So today I'm going to do an exercise. Right? And I'm going to ask you to do that and upload that by next week. I will give you 1 whole week for that. Right? But then you will have to individually come and I will allocate 1 hour for that. Every person will be given 1 to 2 minutes to come and tell how you speak there. I'll be sitting there and you will come and sitting over there and tell you, sir, how you will make them. What will make them? Yeah, you're going to have it. Sir, India is this and correlation, you know, collective language correlation. Vedas are done at the degree is that. Or that's a false. Forget it is the series like it's a point of the I don't know what that's happened. Do I want that source. Do your yes, do that. Oppose again. Just a phenomenon. It's actually opposite that. Opposite. Opposite. It was that you know, now in the normal yeah. Do it. Here, grandpa's if I can take it, 2 weeks or so. You cannot then the liberation. The London going to be a great. So, like, I think even our AOC and the bar, they are 3 years old and say correction. You do get a more getting a back. Okay. Right. So, that's the second assumption.
Now let's come to the third assumption. The third assumption is no autocorrelation. The third assumption is no autocorrelation. Third assumption is no autocorrelation. Right? What do we mean by autocorrelation? Autocorrelation means the observations need to be independent. Data set figures, observations independent. Please take down note. Autocorrelation issue indicates autocorrelation issue indicates that autocorrelation issue indicates that the observations are not independent from each other. Are not independent from each other. And are not independent from each other and are highly correlated. Highly correlated. What does it say? Now, if you go to the data set, and if I open the data, I go to browse. You will see that there are a number of observations. Each represent a different employee, isn't it? Now there are 430 observations. There are 430 employees validated. Each data should come from what? A separate employee. But if they are highly correlated, if the observations are highly correlated with each other, that's an issue. The observations need to be independent. If it is highly correlated, then we call that what? Autocorrelation. It's called an autocorrelation. The observations, each observation, there are 430 observations, each needs to be what? Independent. If it is highly correlated, then we call it what? Autocorrelation. Called autocorrelation. To check that, we have run something called a Derby-Watson test. Make a Derby-Watson test. So let's see now how to perform a Derby-Watson test. So that's why I have given here. Now let's see how to perform a Derby-Watson test. To run the Derby-Watson test, you have to copy all these 4 lines. Okay, line one state. You have to put that to state. You have to copy these 4 lines and then put it together and paste it to the stator command bit and execute that together. And if the Derby-Watson value is around 2, there's no issue. If the Derby-Watson value is below 1 or above 3, then there's autocorrelation. But the Derby-Watson value is bigger or bigger. If the Derby-Watson value is 2 or approximately that value, right, then there's no problem. But if the Derby-Watson value is less than 1 or above 3, then there's autocorrelation. Shall we check that? To do that, what we need to do is here finally DWS stat is Derby-Watson stat. So copy these. Copy these. And put under, paste it under, ඒ ටිකම copy කරලා paste කරන්න. ඔන්න මේක පොඩක් උස්ස ගන්න. ඒතර පේනවා කොහොම copy වුණාද කියලා. So all 4 should be copied and pasted here. Wording copy කරලා මෙතන දාන්න. Copy it from the word and put it over here. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. Copy කරලා paste කරලා. කොහොම ඒකම සෙට් එකම copy කරලා paste කරා. එක එක තේ ඔක්කොම එක. හරි. විදිහට. හරි කොහොමද? copy කරලා
Gen ඉතල copy කරන්න DW stat එක. Don't copy everything. සමහරු අර note එකේ තියෙන හැමදේම copy කරලා විතර දාන්න. අපේ ඉන්නවා ඉස්තරම්ම ගනේ ඇදහිතු ගනේ පොත පොරවල් වගේ අපි. તો අපි ගලන් කියන්නේ ඇදහිතු ගනේ පොරවල්. කට්ටිය කිව්වන්ට. හොඳයි. copy කරලා ගන්න හැමදේම නෙවෙයි. copy කරලා මෙන්න මේ other power. We have to copy and paste only these 4 lines. Starting from Gen to DW scan. Right.
Copy that and put that to stator. Then it will look like this. On my photo command is so pain නැති නිසා. So you can flip it, put it up. Then after that, just hit enter. Then it will do some calculations and tell the Robin-Watson statistics what 2.018. Is it good or bad?
Robin-Watson value 2.018 again. The Robin-Watson value is given as 2.018. Is it good? Yes. It's around 2. So please take down. The estimated Robin-Watson value. The estimated Robin-Watson value. The estimated Robin-Watson value. Estimated Robin-Watson value. The estimated Robin-Watson value. 2.08. 2.08. Sorry, 2.018. Estimated Robin-Watson value 2.018. Right? Is similar to or is equal to is equal to 2 is equal to 2 number 2 is equal to approximate is equal to 2 approximate comma which indicates there is no autocorrelation issue. 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 Full stop. So if this value goes below 1 or above 3, then that's opposite. Right. So that's what you have to understand. So we have up to now covered how many assumptions? 3 assumptions. What are the assumptions? 1. What's the first assumption? What's the first assumption? Right? What's the first assumption? Linear. Linear. What's the second assumption? What's the second assumption? party policy. That's the second thing. What the third one? What the third is something? No. So all three assumptions are met. The first assumption not 100% met because age and life satisfaction do not have that much of correlation or linearity. But stress and life satisfaction indeed have quite a strong linearity. That's the so no search is not. Right. Now let me tell you. Now let me provide you with the next week's assignment that you have to. You will have 1 week to do that, and then we'll have interviews. It doesn't want interview. No books, nothing is allowed. I'll ask you to come here, sit with me, and tell me. I'll ask you questions, so you have to answer. If you cannot answer, I'll say thank you. Do it again. And a big zero. Okay. Right. So therefore, study well. Because I see that some students are not putting the effort to study. Right? ඒගොල්ලන් ඉන්නේ මෙතන මොකද්ද? ඩ්‍රාමා එකක් බලලා යන්න. මම මෙතනට ඇවිදිනවා. So they think that I am a teledrama actor. Which I am not. I don't have the looks of a teledrama actor. Or the muscle. I am not handsome, right? So I cannot be a teledrama actor. But some people think that, right? So I right. Okay. So what's required from you? This is what's required. So I'm now going to put the assignment for next week. නැත්තම් මේක මට පේනවා සමහර දරුවෝ effort එක දරන්නේ නැහැ වගේ. So I see that some students are not taking the due effort. So what I'll do is I'll put into the LMS an exercise. මෙන්න exercise. Exercise එක අපි අන්තිමට දාමු. එතකොට බලන්නත් ලේසි. Class quizzes. Right, class quizzes. These and assignments. And I'll put what's required. What is the පොඩි දේ දැක්කම නම් පොඩි දෙයක් පේන්නේ එකක් නැති වෙයි but so I'm going to give you a small class exercise. පොඩි දෙයක්, right? Don't worry. Case. පොඩි case එක. To analyze a small case which I'll explain what's required. So this is the case study that I'm going to ask you to analyze. So both the case and the data files are there. So open this Word file. Then on a Word file you to open කරගන්න. Go to the bottom of your LMS page and there's two files. One is the data file, the other one is the case study. A minor case study, a small case study that I will ask you to do and upload the upload the answers. And I'll give you the instructions how you can upload the answers as well. So I'm going to give the assignment like this. Case study, answer, submission. I'll say upload the Word file with the answers and the data screenshots. Status screenshots together. So I'll give you till next week. Next week, Saturday. I'll give you adequate time. So next week, Saturday is when? 21st, isn't it?
It's Saturday 21st. We'll check this. Yes, no. Saturday is 21st. Then I give you till Saturday midnight. That's the deadline. And you have to upload one file. I'll tell what's that file. Right? And you. So then we'll have 1 or 2 minutes interviews with each of you. I'll allocate 1 hour out of 4 hours. And we'll have some interview. A nice chat. අපි තමාර ඩොක්ටර් වගේ මෙතන වාඩිලා ඉන්නේ. patient වගේ දරුවෙක්. කොහොමද? මේ කොහොමද කරේ? chat GPT okay 0. Okay, now let me tell you what to do. So open this file. ඔබ बोले දෙකක් පෙන්නන්න. Right, check right take up pen. Take up pen. Pick up. Okay, can you see the assignment submission link? Please refresh and see. Then I'll tell you what you need to do in the assignment. Can you see the assignment submission link? Matna take up pen. My guy create take up. Right, now let me tell you what you need to do. Take 1 week, 1 whole week to do that. Right. So this is what you need to do. So this is the case study. Please download the Word file. Exactly download the Word file and open the Word file. That's step number 1. So there's a case study. In this case study, you are looking at employee satisfaction. And there are, the employee satisfaction is the dependent variable. Then there are several independent variables. What are the independent variables? Work-life balance, management support, salary satisfaction, age, years of experience, and even gender. Gender is also there. Can we consider gender and can we put a gender variable into regression analysis? You can. As a dummy variable. So that I have coded as 0 and 1, 1 male and 0 female. And then the data set is given to you. The data set is available in the LMS. LMS data set. Download. So this is the data set. Data session for case employee satisfaction with demographics. That's the data set. So if you want, you can download and open and see. Open data. So let's open that tools. So you can see these variables are there, right? Work-life balance is there in a Likert scale, management support Likert scale, salary satisfaction Likert scale. Then you have the employee satisfaction and the age is there, years of experience is there, and gender is also there, right? So those are there in the data set. There are 60 employees. First, you have to perform a regression analysis. Do a regression analysis and then tell what's the R squared value and then interpret that. Then what's the overall model significant? Whether the overall model is significant, you have to indicate. For this, copy and paste the regression output. Today I told you how to do that. Paste it as what? Copy and paste it as a picture. Pindurayak vidiyata copy paste kara. How to do that? In state output, go to stata, and I'm just going to take one. How to do that? You will copy with the command. Command right click and what? Copy as picture. Without then it won't go misaligned. Right? It won't get misaligned here and there. So copy as a picture and put the state out. Then these are the hypotheses. Each independent variable has a hypothesis. Work-life balance has an impact on employee satisfaction. That's one independent variable and the dependent variable. Right? Then tell whether these hypotheses are agreeing or right, whether these are supported or not. Right? How can you say whether this hypothesis is supported or not? Look at the significance value. If a variable is significant, then you say the hypothesis is supported. Right? I'll just show you how to do that. So I open the data set here. So then I'm going to say regress. I'm going to go to share shortcut regress. And the dependent variable is what? What's the dependent variable? Satisfaction. Employee satisfaction. Then there are independent variables. Work-life balance. Management support. Right? Then salary satisfaction. Age. Years of experience. And gender. Then I'm going to hit it. Then you can see these are the regression that I'll be expecting from you. And now see what variables are significant. Is work-life balance significant? Is work-life balance significant? Yes. Management support? Is it significant? So remember, if a variable is significant, we say that the hypothesis is supported. Now here the support for work-life balance, the hypothesis for work-life balance is what? This. H1 is the hypothesis for the work-life balance. What is that? Work-life balance has an impact on employee satisfaction. Do you agree? Based on the results? Yes. Because there is a significant link. But some of the variables is not significant. Then you can say that the hypothesis is not supported. What's the hypothesis by the way? What's the hypothesis? It's an assumption that you make at the beginning of a result. In your result method course, I think you have studied that. Before you collect and analyze the data. Then once you collect and analyze the data, you will see whether the hypothesis is supported or not. What's the hypothesis? Basically, it's a testable. Go and see whether the assumption is supported or not. Here, based on the results, the work-life balance hypothesis is supported or not? It's supported. Right? Likewise, check whether all 6 hypotheses, there are 6 independent variables, check all 6 whether those are significant or not. If it is significant, you would say what? It's supported. If it is not significant, you would say it's not supported. Is it difficult? That's how you test hypothesis. Then the answers. Which variables are statistically significant? Then you have to answer based on the regression results. Which variables are not statistically significant? What do these results imply? Then interpretation of coefficients. Look at the interpretation of the coefficient. Now, for an example, work-life balance. උත්තරේ දීලම තමයි assignment එක කරන්න කියලා. සර් මෙහෙම assignment වරුනේ. Then work-life balance. What's the coefficient of work-life balance? 0.91. 0.91 is the coefficient of work-life balance. I'm asking you to do what? Interpret. I'm asking you to interpret it. So interpret that. So simple. දැන් මම උත්තරේ දෙන්න යන්නේ උත්තරේ දීවා වැඩන්නේ. Right. Then what does the coefficient of management support imply? Then again, how to interpret the management support? Then based on the results, what can you say about recommendation? So I have told you provide recommendations on the work. Significant variables of recommendations they need. Provide recommendations on your significant variables of. Don't provide recommendations for insignificant variables. There were some insignificant variables. Don't provide any recommendations. Then I have asked you to do a prediction. Did you do a prediction? I have not put gender here, but other 5 variables. So I have asked you to do a prediction. So just ignore gender and you can do prediction. Gender, no color prediction. Expected satisfaction score. Then I asked you to check 6 regression assumptions. What? How many assumptions did I cover today? 43. So therefore take 43. The first thing. What are the mistakes? Linearity, multivariate, and what's the product? Autocorrect. So do you know how to do that? I have told you one thing. So check those things and you put that here in this word file. Put all the results in this word file and check them. Put a screenshot for your thing. Screenshot in the sense, copy and paste what? The picture of them. And then upload it by the deadline. And during the lecture, I'm going to allocate 1 or 2 hours to have chats with my students. We play a role play, doctor and patient. The way the doctor and not patient, doctor and student. They are professor and student. Professor and student. Okay. So learn. I'm trying to tell you what. Another way, please apply. Because someone doesn't be a better one. People should tell you. State open governance variables so therefore I want to protect you from your side. Is it? Sometimes we have to protect ourselves from all sides. By the way, do you know who is our main enemy? Our Pradhan Sundra Kaudhikala? Ourselves. How the without it, partner who is not studying? Is it the politicians? Sorry. Who is not coming to lectures regularly? Oh, Pascal? Trade master? No. How the Yarakan? What do Yaraka make up from Yarakan? It's me. Who is going Facebook every 2 minutes and wasting out life and time? So who is my main man? Myself. If I tell them, I told them, this plagiarism, it was told by a great Chinese philosopher. And he is absolutely right. So therefore, I have to protect you from yourself. So I have to put some internal control mechanism so you start. So that's my noble objective. That's my goal. But just to give you some, exercises so you will understand the subject matter. It's not I fail as a lecturer. I can just teach some subject matter in French. I'll be paid for that and moral question. But I have moral application that my students will get it and find apply that in your life. If I fail as a lecturer,
I'm not answerable for a director. I'm not answerable for, I'm answerable for the whole fight. And there will be a day that comes that I'll have to answer for what I did. So if you have not studied, and if you take the exam, right, I could just clap my hands and say, but no, we can get the name. But I don't actually have responsibility. Did I make you start? No. So that's why I'm trying my level best to make you understand these things for your own good, not to make your lives uncomfortable. So once you apply this, you will understand in and out what it is. That's what I wish. Not if just put up, I can have my a nice time, I can just come and try some clothes, fill some subject matter and vanish. But I consider you as my team. I try to do my best to my daughter and my son. Likewise, I try to give the best to you. Sometimes you might not feel that the best. You might feel, oh, he's too strict. No, right? Right? It's a thing that we need to do. Sometimes, some things might not be sweet when you are receiving that, but later you will understand how important that was. So therefore, it's not a deep, even I give some answers at the moment, so try to analyze and try to come up with some good answers. And if I just think that you have done something, then that will earn you marks. So therefore, be ready for this, just to make you understand and apply something. And if you don't understand it, you can right, maybe after I do that small interview with you, all of you, I can again explain the answer. Right? So you will be able to understand it. That's a normal opinion. Okay, right. With that, now we shall take attendance, isn't it? The ritual. You should not forget the rituals. In the morning, when we get up 42, we brush our teeth, we first drink our water, right? And then brush our teeth and then put the water and give us the teeth. Likewise, this is a ritual that we do have that attendance. You got nothing on it. Let's do it. Okay, let's do the ritual.
Now you get ready to mark your attendance. Any question related to the assignment? Is it clear? Word file එක දාලා upload කරන්න එච්චර. With screenshots. Okay, be ready. Both online as well as physical students. Okay, the QR is on. පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. Please hold on. නැත්නම් අර ගීතරේ වෙච්ච ප්‍රශ්නේ එනවා. මේක මම මැදට ගන්න. Is it working? Thank you. Thank you. So please take attendance, and with this then we'll end the lecture, and let's meet next week. Thank you very much and good night. All fine with the QR code? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Prakash, and all the students. Right, thank you. Okay, online students, thank you. I'm going to now end the session. Please take care and good night.